Yo, what's up, guys? Topics here, and I just wanted to make this video on protection warrior gearing in week one. So, there's a few things I wanted to go over, and I basically just want to guide you guys on um, what you can do this week for gear um, coming into patch 11.2, and what our gear is going to look like this season. So, um, that being said, let's get into it. So first, I want to start with trinkets. Um, our best trinkets, okay? So this season, the best trinket for us, the best one actually is from Raid. Let's put it on Mythic here. I believe it's from yeah. So it's from the Soul Hunters, the quote unquote optional boss. It's really optional. So it's this one here. Brand of Ceaseless Ire. So number one, it has crit on it, which is very good for us, especially playing Thane. You know, our stats are haste crit. Um, and this basically, whenever you take damage, you absorb it and deal shadow damage back to the enemies. So it's, you know, obviously it gives you crit, it does some damage to your enemies. Um, but most importantly, um, the damage you do is increased based off how many are around you. So, you know, great for Mythic Plus. And then, of course, um, every 15 seconds you get a stack of this, which just increases the amount of damage you're doing and also the damage you're absorbing. So this is like an offensive slash defensive trinket all in one, and it's stacking. So, um, you know, up to 15 stacks every 15 seconds. That means you gain 4 stacks a minute. So it's going to take you 4 minutes to get max stacks on this. But once you get max stacks, you're going to be a lot more powerful and more tanky for the rest of the time in your dungeon. So this is definitely going to be the best tank trinket, I think, for basically all tanks. Unfortunately, it's on the Soul Hunters, which is like the fifth boss, and a pretty difficult boss. So I don't know if this is still going to be BIS if you can only get it on Heroic. Um, I guess we'll have to wait to see what the Sims look like. But I definitely know if you can get this on Mythic, it's going to be your BIS trinket for like all tank content. Also, we'll have to see if they do Dinars again later this season, because if they do and you can at least get one kill on this boss on Mythic, then you'll be able to probably buy this. So I'm not Mythic rating, so you know, depending on how strong this is, I might have to just try and find a way to get this boss dead just so I can buy this with a dinar. Or maybe get loot funneled or something like that, because this might be really, really strong. But who knows? Maybe the heroic version is still so strong that that's uh, a decent second option just to go with the heroic version. So that's your best trinket. Um, what are the other trinkets you want? So I think the other trinket that you will want is going to be let's do trinkets here. So this is another one you can grab from Mythic Plus. Tome of Light's Devotion is still going to be really, really strong. Another one is Pacemaker. I actually think you're more likely to go with that trinket from Raid we just looked at, the Ceaseless Ire and Pacemaker. I think those are going to be your combos as tank. Um, and then you can also go with Sack Brood, especially because it has haste with it. And they recently did just buff this a little bit. They nerfed it and then they buffed it back. So this is really strong again. So I think those are your combos as tank this season. You're going to do the Ceaseless Ire from Raid, and then you're going to either pair it with Sack Brood, Pacemaker, or Tome of Light's Devotion. Um, I think most tanks are going to do the Ceaseless Ire with the Pacemaker. But let's say you can't get your hands on the Mythic version of Ceaseless Ire and the Heroic version is not simming that well. I think the two that you'd probably want to go with are Pacemaker and Sack Brood, just because you have one of those have crit on it, the other one has haste on it, and Thane Warrior is really good with crit haste. So you're getting both of those, and then obviously you're getting strength from Sack Brood, and then you're just getting a bunch of damage from both of the trinkets. So for myself, I think early on in the season, I'll probably try and get Pacemaker Sack Brood combo, and then maybe later if I can get the Ceaseless Ire, I'll just do Ceaseless Ire with Pacemaker and remove Sack Brood. I think Pacemaker is still going to be better. And then the only other trinket I wanted to mention here is, if I can remember where it's from, yeah, is this ringing ritual mud. So it has versatility on it, not bad. It's not our best stat, but it's still not bad. But of course, this is just like an 11 million absorb, or actually, it's probably gonna be higher than this later on the season. It basically is almost like your whole health bar if you get a myth version of this. So if we start struggling on some dungeons and we need an extra defensive, I think this ritual mud will still be really good. It's a 2 minute cooldown, so you basically have like an extra defensive every 2 minutes, which is really powerful on dungeons where you're taking big tank hits, or we're being threatened for our lives. So those are the trinkets, you guys, I think that we're going to be looking at this season. There's still some pretty good M plus trinkets. We only really have that one trinket from Raid that we want to get our eyes on. So, I'm happy to know that both of our best trinkets are not from Raid. So that's not too bad. Next is gear. Uh, just gear in general. So, um, early on, you're gonna have your disc belt at 701 in here, and your Reshi wraps here. And you're gonna be upgrading this throughout the season with your like ethereal strands that you're getting from all content. So do not craft anything in cloak or belt spot, obviously. Eventually you're probably gonna replace this disc belt, I think, if you can get like a myth track belt with good stats, or you can craft this. Let's say you craft this at like max level with good stats. I think when you replace this, but at least early on, you're not going to be replacing this, and then you're obviously never going to be replacing Reshi wraps. So for crafting earlier on, I would suggest doing a shield, which I've already done. I've used my first spark to craft a crit haste shield with dust thread on it. Dust thread is the embellishment you're going to want to do. It's 756 versatility. I think my next craft is going to be bracers again, just because you want to do your cheap statted items for your crafts, because they can't go up quite as high as full myth track. So I think next I'll probably just craft this crit haste with dust thread, and then these will be like my two items with the dust thread embellishment. So these are what I would craft first, um, just to get your embellishments going so that you're set up for the rest of the season. And then after that crafting, you can probably do a weapon if one hasn't dropped by the time you're getting to your third craft. And then your fourth craft, I'd probably fill a ring, just because ring aren't as high of stat budgets as other stuff, because it only has stamina and it does not have strength on it. So those would be like the crafts I would do in order. I would do shield first, uh, wrist next to get your embellishments going, and then I would do weapon third, ring fourth. And by that point, it's basically just filling in your low spots if you have any. Hopefully, by the time you have four things crafted, you also have full tier and your trinkets, so there's probably not gonna really be anything else to fill. So that's basically how gearing is going to go this season. Just wanted to make a short video, you guys, to talk through this. And oh, last thing, make sure that you guys do spend your ruined, or sorry, not ruined. Make sure you do spend your weathered and your carved crests if you get a good item. Like if you get a champion track item this week with good stats, like crit haste or even haste verse, you can go ahead and probably spend these, because starting next week when we're getting into Mythic Plus, we're gonna be getting like hero track items, and also from like bountiful doves to tier 8 and higher. We're gonna be getting like hero track items either from Vault or from the end of those uh dungeon drops and delve drops. So we won't need these two crests starting next week. So yeah, if you get a champion track item that's good stats, don't be afraid to use these on them and then equip it. Because these crests will basically be useless starting next week. So that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you want more Protection Warrior content. I'm maining Prot Warrior, so you'll continue to see more content from me like this throughout the season. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace. Big shout out to all of the Patreon subscribers. It's because of you that I'm able to continue making World of Warcraft content. I really appreciate it.